let us move on to the SAQ questions from both the chapters. From chapter 5, the first question is, what was the Vernacular Press Act? Though the answer has been given in the notes, still for 2 marks, you will write that it was issued or passed in the year 1878 during the Viceroyalty of Lord Ripon, and it said that if any vernacular newspaper published criticism against government activities, then the paper would be banned. Next question is, why was Vidyasagar called Vidyabonik? This answer has also been given, but it is quite long. In short, you will write that he was the first in Bengal to print, publish and sell the books. That is why he was known as Vidyabonik or commercial educationist. Next, who were the founders of Rajabazar Science College? You will have to write Sir Ashutosh Mukherjee along with Sir Rashbihari Ghosh and Sir Taraknath Pali. Next question, what was the contribution of Upendra Kishore Roy Choudhury in the field of printing? You will write that he learned the modern printing technology in London, and then this knowledge he used in the development of the printing in India, and then he was the first to use the half-tone colored blocks in printing and founded U. Roy and Sons in 1913 at Maniktala, Calcutta. Next, why was the National Council of Education founded? It is because to counter the introduction of University Act of 1905. That means University Act of 1905 was passed by Lord Curzon in order to take away the autonomy of the Calcutta University. So this National Council of Education was founded to counter that, to nationalize, to take the control of the education in the hands of Indians. Why did Rabindranath establish Vishwabharati? In order to combine world's knowledge to be studied by the students from all over the world. Last question, what were the motives behind the foundation of Boshu Vigyan Mandir? Answers, to study both life and non-life sciences. Next, to enhance research in electromagnetism and to provide impetus to scientific culture in India. Now let us move on to the next chapter. Chapter 6. The first question, what was the Mopla revolt? Now you will have to first mention who were the Moplas or who are the Moplas, that they were the Muslim peasants in the Malabar region, and the Mopla revolt was a militant farmers' rebellion against the landlords for the high rate of taxation. It began in 1873 but reached its peak in the year 1921. It was a failure because of the atrocities used by the British government, almost killing 10,000 farmers. Next question, what was the Bardoli Satyagraha? Answer, the lower class people of Bardoli in Gujarat protested against the atrocities, exploitations of higher caste people and high rate of land taxation under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in 1928. The government after the Satyagraha was forced to set up an inquiry committee and reduce the land tax from 22% to 6.5%. Next question, why was Baba Ramchandra famous? Answer, Baba Ramchandra was one of the important leaders of the UP Kisan Sabha. He started the peasants movement in UP and was arrested on false charges of theft. His arrest led to violent protests of the farmers by beginning Ekka movement in 1921. Next question, what was the Ekka movement? Answer, the farmers of Sultanpur, Hardoi, Raebareli in UP began to protest a movement against high land revenue imposed. They took a vow to pay only recorded rent and refuse forced labor before a symbol of river Ganges. Their leader was Passi Madari. The movement failed due to the severe police intervention. Next, what does passive resistance mean? It is attack without arms to assert the demands. You can give the example that Gandhiji's Satyagraha, that non-violent movements against the British to get the freedom. Next question, what was the Chauri Chaura incident, or why did Gandhiji withdraw the non-cooperation movement? Here you will have to mention the answer that on 5th February 1922, a violent mob consisted of Satyagrahis of non-cooperation movement attacked a police station at the Chauri Chaura village in Gorakhpur, UP. They killed 22 police constables while doing so, and Gandhiji withdrew the peaceful non-violent non-cooperation movement, seeing it turning into violent one. What was the Dandi March or Salt Satyagraha? Answer, on 12th March 1930, Gandhiji along with his followers marched from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi, a coastal village in Gujarat. They manufactured salt from seawater on 6th April, defying the Salt Act, breaking the monopoly of the government in salt production and sale. This began the civil disobedience movement. Next question, what was the Bokasto movement? Now answer, the lands taken away from the farmers by landlords due to non-payment of taxes during the Great Depression were known as Bokasto land. The farmers rose to movement to get their land back, came to be known as Bokasto movement. Next question, what was the background of the non-cooperation movement, or why did Gandhiji launch the non-cooperation movement? Here you will have to mention all the reasons behind the launch of the non-cooperation movement, such as the introduction of Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Khilafat movement, and rise of price in commodities due to the First World War, as well as demand for self-dominion. Why did the farmers' revolt have a communal character during the anti-partition movement? The British government had given the farmers' revolt the name as the Hindu-Muslim conflict or clash, because it was for their own convenience, because they wanted to break the unity between the Hindus and the Muslims, thereby breaking the feeling of nationalism, growing nationalism during that time. So the British government had given this peasants movement or peasants revolts a communal shape or communal form, telling that it was nothing but the clash between the Hindu and Muslim farmers. Next question, why did not the peasants participate in the anti-partition movement? Now, anti-partition movement was the first of its kind after the Great Revolt of 1857. The first time the people of India, basically Bengal, they have revolted against any action of the British government in such a force. But the peasants, who were 80% of the population, they had no such participation in this movement, because first of all they did not have any kind of political knowledge, besides the leaders of the anti-partition movement, they did not think about to include the peasants into the movement. They disregarded the disturbances, the dissatisfaction, distress of the peasants. During that time, they ignored the peasants' problems. So the peasants had also not participated in the anti-partition movement. Next, why was Simon Commission sent to India? Why did the Indians protest against it? Now, the Simon Commission was sent to India to evaluate the political remedies that could not be achieved by the Morley Minto Act in 1909, and also the promises that the British government had said after the end of the First World War they would be giving the Indians the self-dominion status or political facilities or constitutional facilities. So there was the growing discontentment among the Indians. They wanted to discuss the problems with the Indians. So they set up a committee of 7 members, the British government, and sent to India under Simon, and named it Simon Commission. The commission came in 1927-28, but the Indians protested because all the 7 members, they were all British. None of the Indian leaders were included in the committee. So they had come to discuss about the problems of Indians, but they had not included one of the Indian leaders. So that is why it was decided that wherever the Simon Commission would go, the people were going to show the black flag and shout the slogan, "Go back, Simon." Next question. What were the objectives of the Congress Socialist Party? Now, Congress Socialist Party was established in the year 1934 by Jayaprakash Narayan, Acharya Narendra Dev, etc. So, their objective or aim was to establish a socialist form of government, to abolish zamindari system, to recognize occupancy rights of peasants over the land, to fix the wages and working hours for both peasants and the workers, and to freeze the debts of the peasants. Now next, what was the Meerut conspiracy case? Answer: the Communist Party and other left-wing groups brought the workers and peasants within the fold of anti-British protests. In order to break the strength of the communist movement and to silence workers' protest, the British government used the Public Safety Bill to arrest 33 Communist Party leaders, tried them and cast them into prison in the year 1929. This was known as the Meerut conspiracy case. And last question, who was M.N. Roy? Answer: M.N. Roy was the pseudonym of Narendranath Bhattacharya. He began his political career as a revolutionary. Later he turned into a communist leader, founded the Communist Party of India in Tashkent, Russia in 1920. Afterwards he joined the Congress Party and founded the Radical Democratic Party for the achievement of India's freedom. So, we have almost discussed all the questions given in the worksheet.